Hello everyone, this is the Gadget Man with Discovering in Color, and welcome to today's video. Today we're going to talk about something that's near and dear to my heart, and that is cooking, more specifically cooking on the trail. And how do you do it? And what should you take with you when you go? I got a bunch of stuff on the table here. I'm going to talk about all of it here. But what I want to talk about is when you're backpacking and you're preparing for your trip, you need to know what kind of a cook system it takes. Now, I have never ever had one single particular cook system that I take that works every single time, because it depends on a number of factors. The first factor is where are you going? The next factor is going to be how long are you going? Another factor is going to be how many people are you cooking for? And another factor is going to be what type of food are you actually going to be making while you're out there on the trail. So let's start with the first one. How long are you going to be going? Well, you could be going for a day, you could be going overnight, you could be going for a week, you could be going a couple days or whatever, but you want to find a system that is, one, going to support you for that length of time and do what you need to do. And you've got a number of different options here. We have options that use isobutane, we have options that use alcohol, and you got to bring fuel for all of these. Got a cool option here, which is this little solo stove, which just uses wood, so you don't have to bring any fuel, you just have to use what you got. And those are the three main ones that I use right here. So let's say you're going out overnight. Well, if you're going to go out overnight, you're not going that far, you can pretty much use any system that you want to use, because you're not concerned about weight, you're not concerned about fuel, those type of things. So pretty much pick the one that you want. But you also want to look at if you're going out for a very long time. Let's say you're going out for 4 or 5 days. Well, now, if you're not going to take the natural method here, then you need to bring a system, one that you're going to be able to heat your meat or your food, cook your food for the amount of time that you're talking. So we've got little butane canisters right here that you could take. We've got bigger butane canisters right here that you can take. And what I found is, and I have a video on that, and I'll put the link up here for it, is if you're going out for about 3 or 4 days, this little tiny butane canister right here will do. It's about 110 gram butane canister. That will pretty much last you for 4 or 5 days of heating up water or cooking in the morning and heating up water or cooking in the evening for about 4 days. Any longer than that, then you might need a bigger canister, or you might need to bring a second canister. These bigger canisters right here are nice if you're going to go on a really long trip, but if you're going to go on a really long trip and this is what you got to use, well then, you're probably going to have to refuel or do something, or not refuel, but restock yourself after a certain amount of time. So this is a lot of butane to take, and I haven't taken a big one like this in a very long time because I usually take the small ones. Where are you going? Okay, that's point number 2. Now, where are you going to be going for your adventure? It makes a big difference. If you're going to be going in a very high altitude, then I got to tell you, these butane stoves don't necessarily work that well. And if you're going to a very cold atmosphere or a cold camp out, the butane canisters don't really work that well. So if you're at anywhere from sea level up to about 11, 12,000 feet, you're good to go. If you're going to be going higher than that, then you might want to consider something else, maybe an alcohol stove. The butane will work, all these will work, but one that's guaranteed to always work with you, provided you have the fuel, is this one right here. It doesn't care about the altitude. The only thing that matters when you carry a wood stove like this is getting dry fuel to put in here. So if you're going someplace that's really wet or swampy, Florida trail, and you want to use this, you may have a hard time finding enough dry material to make this natural fuel stove work. So in that case, I would probably bring one of the other options that I have right here. The other thing you want to think about is how many people are you going to be taking on your trip? Okay? If it's just yourself, then we look at these different pots that we have right here. I choose a pot that's relatively small. I've been really hooked on this little jet boil right here. It is a small pot, holds, 500, 700 and some milliliters, and that's in a good little segue here. All of these pots right here are going to be measured in liters, either 1 liter or 500 milliliters or 750 milliliters. But then you'll notice on these little meals right here, they give you the measurements in ounces. Now, some of these actually do have that on the inside. They've got a marking for ounces, but it's always kind of perplexed me where All of these cooking systems right here are all measured in liters, but when they give you water to put in these things and stuff like that, it's all in non-metric. So you got to do the conversion yourself. But back to people. So when you're going to go with people, if you're going to go by yourself, a small pot is probably going to be all you need. If you're going to go with more than yourself, then you're probably going to need a bigger pot, especially depending on what you're cooking. Now, pots come in all kinds of different sizes. I've got this so small one here, fits on top of this cook system here, and this is really nice. It's made by Jetboil. It's the Whisper Light system right here. You can get the all-in-one systems here. This is a little MSR system. It's pretty much all-in-one. It fits on top of the butane canisters. This is the Whisper Light, if I recall, from MSR. And pretty much it hooks together, fits on top of a butane canister like so. And it's really great in the wind because of the way this mesh here, this metal mesh is, it does a great job of letting the air in but keeping the wind out. So this is a very fuel efficient and a very nice one to have. We're going to talk about this 1 liter pot right here from Jetboil. This is really great if you have more than maybe 2 people inside of your group. You can boil with this. You've got 1 liter of water. So we open it here, but it fits a liter of water. It's got the flux ring technology here on the bottom right here. And what that does is it's very efficient for fuel. And you can boil, you can take this with a group. It's very light. It's either aluminum or titanium. I think it's aluminum, but this is a great pot for a number of people if you're just gonna boil water, or even if you're gonna cook, because that is one of the things right here. If you're just boiling water, you can get away with a smaller pot with, 1 or 2 people can get away with this one here for just boiling water. But once you start boiling water for a group of 3 or 4 or larger, you need the bigger pot right here. So I've taken this on a couple of trips where we need just a bigger pot. The next thing you can look at here are, we've got some of these titanium ones. This one here is by Evernew. I like this one here. It's a 1 liter pot, very light. It's used, you can store your fuel in it if you need to, and other stuff you can put in there. And then I've got some of the smaller pots here. This is the 750 milliliter pot by Tokes. This is a 900 milliliter pot by Tokes. And then this is one of the first titanium ones I got right here. This right here is a 1 liter pot. It's not by Tokes, it's by somebody, but it's titanium. Titanium is great because it's super light. I really like it. But one of the things I like about this pot is you can boil water in it, you can eat in it, you can cook in it, and it's got a little thing right here where you can actually serve yourself right here. So you can cook in here, you can put it in here. I've done things such as cooked in here, moved all the food over to here that I wanted to, take this out, put in boiling water, boil water. This is a pretty good all-around pot. It also, this could be used as the top to keep your food warm. So this one here is very nice. It's got room in here to store stuff in. Very versatile pot. Like I said, it's one of the first ones I've gotten, and I still do take that one with me on occasion, depending on where I'm going. And one final thing that I want to talk about here is actually the cooking systems again. Now, there's a couple different ones we've got here. We've got, start with the alcohol one right here. This is a little itty bitty alcohol stove right here. It's titanium, it's super light. Basically fits here like so, and you just take your pot with your alcohol in it, and it actually just fits right on top. Well, this one doesn't very good, but if you get a regular pot like this one, how about that? Ooh, neat idea. Okay, if you have a regular pot like this, just fits right on top and you can boil. It's going to take a longer time to boil using the alcohol stove than it does with these gas stoves because it's just not as efficient. The longest one it'll take is this wood stove. So that's alcohol. You're going to have to bring fuel with you. This is my little fuel bar right here. This is actually a Trangia fuel bar bottle right here. Pretty nice. You fill it with alcohol, you twist the lid, and then when you're ready to go, you just tip it and push the button and it'll fill up your alcohol stove. If you're cooking with your alcohol stove, one of these right here will only last so long once you fill it up with alcohol, so you got to keep your eye on it. Also, when you're using alcohol, you want to put your alcohol in, you want to light it, and then you want to wait a few minutes until that bloom gets going, because if you light this, put your stuff right on top of it, you're not going to get very much heat. So you want to wait till that bloom gets there, and then this thing will put off an incredible amount of heat. Now, when it comes to cooking, if you're just cooking these little meals right here, you only need water. If you're cooking, then you've actually got to cook. So you've got to pick the system that's going to work right for you when it comes to that. Fuel-wise, like I said, the wood stove is great because you have unlimited fuel so long as it's dry. Your gas stoves are great. You're limited on gas. And your alcohol stove is great. You're limited on alcohol, but you can bring a thing like this. This is a week's worth of alcohol in here right now. So that's it, the Gadget Man with Discovering in Colors. And these are a bunch of little gadgets that I have that I go cook with, hence the Gadget Man. But that's it. And if you have any questions, go Google it, go look on the internet, put a question in the comments. I'll help you out with that. But other than that, take care, and I'll see you on the trail.